start us off this week, we have quite an achievement from one Twitch streamer called the Happy Hob. He completed all the Soulsborne games, which means Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, and Bloodborne, without taking a single hit. So they're notoriously hard games as well. Most people will be happy with dying only like 50 times, maybe throughout the whole thing. I haven't actually played it, but I know they're notoriously hard, and he's managed to complete it without taking any hits, which is an achievement in itself. Never mind doing it with no hits in all games, in all 5, I think, games in a row. And he pulled that off after about 18 hours worth of playing on the live stream, so that people could see that he wasn't cheating or anything. And he finished that after about a month, I think, of trying. And he finished it about a week before Sekiro, the new game, launches. So he can try out the Golden Realm with Sekiro as well if he wants. But I think he might want to take a rest after that much effort. In other news, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, quite a long title, was a bit of a cult hit back in around 2004, where you played as a vampire, and depending on what clan you chose, you could be like a more demon kind of looking vampire or a more attractive looking vampire. And it's one of the few games where you can charm your way out of a fight, in that kind of sense. It was made by Paradox Interactive, and they are making a sequel. The sequel, because I never played the first one, the sequel's trailer, which I'm looking at right now, looks like visually really good, and it seems to have the same kind of elements as the first one, I've been told has, because obviously I haven't played it. It looks interesting, basically. So keep an eye out for it if you want. If you like the original one, or if you think a vampire game might be interesting. I assume the original will be quite cheap, like a couple pounds, if it's over 10 years old, 15 years old even. Valve, an already prominent company in the video game scene, has now introduced a thing for Dota 2, which is a League of Legends strategy kind of game. It's not called League of Legends, that's just another game in that kind of genre that people might know more about. But it's been out for ages, and they've added gambling to it. They said it's not a problem because it's only on the tournament games, so you can't throw like your normal games that you play normally doing really well. But yeah, they've added gambling to it. You can't use real life money. You have to use the game's virtual currency, which I think is called gems. But Valve stands to be able to make a lot of money off of this if they play it well and aren't called out for it. Google Stadia was announced recently, and there's been quite a bit of backlash to it. Not necessarily because of how they're handling the release and all that, but more specifically because it's a mainly streaming based, possibly streaming only console type thing. Gamers or people in general are worried about like mod support. How's that going to happen when it's streaming? Because you can't just make a server download something for you necessarily, or if they do, that could be quite dangerous for the servers. And another kind of concern that people have is that Google kind of has a track record of abandoning products that people kind of actually like, which isn't something you really want to see happening, especially if that's like in the future it dwarfs the market and that's the only way to play games anymore is on the Google Stadia. Speedrunning, I would say, is quite a popular trend, I guess you'd call it, or pastime in games when you've kind of finished the game and you want to just get better and better at it. A game that is quite good for speedrunning is called Getting Over It, and well, a lot of people don't get to the point of speedrunning because of how hard the game is. It's very frustrating as well, as there's no saving, it's just one kind of big level kind of thing, but obviously, as I just said, no saving. So if you fail, you go right back to the top, bottom of the mountain, which you have to get up to the end of the goal. Basically, you're a guy that's stuck in an iron pot, and you have a sledgehammer that you have to use to get over the mountain, as is kind of in the name. It has a relatively big speedrunning community, with all of them getting around 3 minutes, no, not 3 minutes, 1 minute and 20-ish seconds and with every time someone breaks a record, it's normally like a couple milliseconds quicker than other people's. But this person got a good 6 seconds ahead of that. They got 1 minute 13 seconds. That's kind of unheard of. And it turns out now, after the fact, that there's a good reason for that, because he was cheating. His title of being the world record, I guess you'd call it, holder of speedrunning for that game has now been revoked, and he's no longer allowed to submit speedruns for the game for another 6 months, because obviously he cheated and they didn't want him to just do it again right afterwards. Ever since I've ever seen Steam, which has probably been at least 4 years, I'd say, they haven't changed the Steam library as far as I can tell, like at all, or not enough of a noticeable difference, and now they're about to change it after that long, or longer even. It'll be on the screen hopefully right now, but they're adding like news features, they're changing the overall look of it. It just looks a lot more cleaner. It also gives more information on the actual game that you want. It also gives events, like events that are recommended for you, and also the ones that you have, the events of the games that you have. Final Fantasy is I guess you'd say world-renowned JRPG, but you don't come for it for the visuals, the gameplay, the magic, or anything like that. You come for it for the chocobos, the really cute birds, and they've listened twice now, I think, because they made one before, and they're making a chocobo game, like a dungeon crawler called called Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Everybody, as in body, buddy, play on words. It's a child-friendly game. Seems like Nintendo Switch is making the biggest push for it. And finally, I've got 2 smaller bits of news. First one is to do with Dungeons and Dragons, so just skip this if you're not interested. But they're bringing out a Stranger Things themed starter set. So the popular TV show, they played that in like, I think it was only really the first season, but the monsters were both based off D&D monsters. So yeah, they're bringing out a starter set for that. So if you ever wanted to play D&D after seeing it in the show, just pick that up and you'll have the adventure that Mike, I think is the DM, made for that show. Which is, I mean, it might interest you, I don't know. But the other thing is Oxenfree, an indie game about kind of time traveling and stuff like that, is the new free game on the Epic Store, if you're interested in that. Oh yeah, sorry, one more quick thing. Doom Eternal, the game that's coming out after Doom 2016, which I think looks pretty interesting. It might be a bit too gory, but it looks fun. That will also be releasing on Google Stadia, alongside, well, not alongside, but they've also got a Doom film in the works, not related to id Software, the creators of the game, at all. They stressed that a lot, that it was just kind of a cash grab kind of thing. And it's the film's not got many high expectations since it's going straight to video instead of getting released in cinemas or anything. But anyway, with that, I'll be leaving you. If you want to see any of the other news videos, just click on my name and then go to the channel and you'll find them there. I also do other kind of things sometimes, but it's mainly this, as in I do this once a week and the other videos in between that when I can. So with that, I'll be leaving you. Goodbye.